So this video is going to give you guys a full guide to building your IQ as a basketball player. I'm going to give you guys a step-by-step process so you know exactly what to do to make sure that you can apply this knowledge to the court to improve your performance in game. So if we want to build our IQ on the court, we need to get a little bit clearer on what exactly the areas that we need to improve on are. So I kind of break this up into three different categories. We have position specific, we have situation specific, and then we have game specific. So when I talk about position specific, I mean, what are the common reads, what are the common actions that you guys are going to get depending on the position or even the play style that you guys are as a player. So what I mean by this is, say you guys are largely an off the catch scorer, maybe you guys are like a Klay Thompson type of player. What are the common reads, right, that you guys are gonna see in a game? Someone's closing out on you, I'm gonna catch, I'm gonna shoot, I'm gonna catch, I'm gonna drive, I'm gonna shot fake, I'm gonna jab. What are all of these little micro reads that you guys are going to need to know? What are all the shots that you guys are going to take? And then start to understand why these shots are gonna be taken. Why am I shot faking in this situation? Why am I gonna jab, take two dribbles? Why is he taking a step back there? Starting to understand all of these little things that are very specific to your certain position or play style. The second one, situation specific, is much broader, where we're taking into account every other player on the floor. And this is largely what we call pattern recognition. Starting to understand how one thing leads into another. To give you guys kind of another analogy based off of Klay Thompson, say you're Klay Thompson, catch the ball, rip. What are the common patterns and reads that I'm gonna see from the macro level? Okay, I rip middle, I know help side is gonna be here. If he shifts over, I kick there, that's largely gonna lead to this guy going here, which is gonna lead to the pass there, space out here, right? So how does all of these pieces move together to fit into the whole? So to give you guys kind of an analogy, like chess, all the best players in chess can think multiple moves ahead. They can see 9, 10 moves ahead on the board, whereas the rookies can only see maybe one move, right? It's the same thing with basketball. The best players on the court can see multiple moves ahead.
What are you looking at when you get into your ISO?
You're gonna make me tell all my secrets, man. You know what's the first thing I look who's under the basket, if it's a big or it's a small. Then I look if he's already been in the paint and he gotta get out. And then just the way, the defense is playing me, which way.
Right, I know if I drive here, draw this defense, I can kick there, which is gonna lead to this, which is gonna lead to that.
Now I try to drive the ball because, they're gonna collapse and somebody's gonna be open.
Right, so it's starting to pick up on all these different patterns that kind of, again, fit into your play style, who you are, but just understanding on more of a micro level. Now the third one is game specific, so this is very broad, so this takes into account essentially everything, how to deal with the clock, depending on it's a late game situation, maybe it's the first quarter, we're trying to go for a 2-for-1, how do I manage foul trouble? Okay, other teams in the bonus, maybe I want to drive a little bit more, draw fouls, how do I get to the free throw line more? How do I start to attack certain players because I know he's a weaker player on the floor? Start to pick up on all of these different things. So these are really the three main areas of IQ that we're gonna go into actually building. So you may be strong in one, you may be weak in another, but now that you know what these three are, now we can talk about how do you guys actually improve on these. Now the first thing that we can do is watch film. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard this, I'm sure a lot of you guys do it, but most of you guys probably are not maximizing it to the best of your ability. Now if I wanna build this specific IQ that we talked about, right, position specific IQ, I want to find a player that matches my play style or matches the situations that I'm going to be in. So for example, if you guys are a 5'7" guard, maybe you guys want to go watch Isaiah Thomas. If you guys are a 6'2" scoring guard, maybe you want to go watch Devin Booker, right? You guys kind of get the example. You want to find someone that fits your playing style and that can kind of match the situations that you're in. Now from there, you want to go and watch as many of these as you possibly can. And specifically for this, we want to be looking at more of the micro reads. So if I'm off the bounce on the wing, what is Isaiah Thomas looking at? What is his read? Why did he go left instead of right? Why did he do that hesitation? What is he reading on that hesitation? If you're watching things from the Devin Booker example, okay, why did he catch, rip, take two dribbles? Why did he go more to space? Why did he shot fake that? So we're trying to pick up on all of these different little micro reads, and it's very specific because we're watching someone that's going to closely mimic what we're going to see in a game. So we can start to pick up on all these certain decisions that we should be making, shots that we're going to be taking in the games, and starting to understand why we're taking them and the reads that are going into it. So when talking about specific and watching film, it's a lot of one-on-one stuff, right? We're not really worried about the help side defense. We kind of are, but it's a lot of one-on-one. Why is he driving against that guy there? Why is he shot faking? Why is he jabbing? Why is he changing direction? It's a lot of one-on-one and starting to pick up on the reads of why he's moving the way he's moving and reacting the way that he's reacting. Now from there, we want to zoom out, right? Because on that one, we're zoomed in. It's very specific to the one-on-one situation. Now I want to zoom out. So now say we're watching film again, you're a 5'7" guard. Okay, let's start to break down pick and roll situations. Let's start to break down drive and kick situations. And let's bring everyone into focus here, right? Okay, he drives here. baseline, he kicks with his left hand, this guy drives it, he spaces here. We want to start to just pick up on these patterns, and what you guys will notice is that a lot of things repeat themselves over and over and over again. So in the pick and roll, there'll be common situations where you're coming off pick and roll with the left side, we have one guy on the block, one guy corner, and then we have three on the opposite side. You're going to start to see that situation a lot, and you're going to start to pick up certain patterns. Okay, in this certain situation, when I drive, if help comes here, I'm going to kick there to the lift guy, and then this guy's going to do that. So you're going to start to pick up on these patterns. The more you can pick up on these patterns, the more you can predict what is going to happen next. So if you guys are a big guy, okay, I'm looking at pick and roll situations, I'm looking at all these different actions that you're going to see, whether it's down screens, ball screens, off ball screens, and then what are the common patterns? What are things that I need to be looking for? What are the things that are going to happen often that I should be prepared for, and know all of the different options that come off of that. And then now if I want to start to build my IQ in terms of the game specific stuff, I would watch a lot more of the full entire game. I'm going to watch from the beginning of the game to the very end of the game, watch certain players and how they manage the clock. If I'm a point guard, how are you managing the clock when someone goes up 4 points, they go on a quick run? How am I managing that run? Quarter's coming to an end, are we going for a 2-for-1? Why aren't they going for a 2-for-1? What type of shot are they taking late quarter, right? We can start to pick up on all these certain things. How are they managing the clock coming into the half? What are they doing coming out of the half? Are they super aggressive? Are they not aggressive? How are they managing the foul situation, right? Other team, like I was saying earlier, they're in the bonus. Are they attacking more? Are they not attacking more? All depending on the score, the time, the coach, where they're playing. All of these things come into factor. So if you guys want to build that game specific, you want to look more so at the entire game. Versus the pattern recognition, we want to be watching just certain plays or certain actions. And then if we want to learn more about the specific, we're going to watch a lot more of that one-on-one. So this is where you can be basically just watching highlights, one-on-one moves, off the catch stuff, Steph Curry highlights, off the catch, shooting, whatever. So those would be the 3 different areas that you guys can watch and what you'll be watching, but watching film alone is not enough if you guys want to build your IQ as a basketball player. Now the knowledge you guys build through these film sessions is going to be what we call general knowledge. So it's just, I know that if this happens, this is most likely going to happen. But if you guys have ever played basketball, which you obviously have, you know how fast the game is. You know how you need to be very sharp and things just need to happen instantaneously. You don't have time to sit there and think, okay, if this guy does this, ball's getting stolen going the other way. So we need to now turn this general knowledge into instincts. Now, how do we do that? We do that by a lot of live play. We do that by a lot of small-sided games. And ideally, if you guys can, you can have a coach taking you through a lot of this stuff in a small-sided games environment where we're starting to repeat a lot of the reads that you guys were learning in that one-on-one situation, repeating a lot of the patterns that you guys are going to see to start to build that pattern recognition. And if you guys have a good coach, you can even replicate a lot of the situations to build your game-specific IQ. Now, if you don't have a coach, it's completely okay. You can start to take some of this knowledge that you guys built, and then once you make a mistake in practice, in live play, in small-sided games, you know, oh, I should have done that. Right? We've all had that moment where you're driving, you see the pass too late, and then you pass, you're like, oh shit, I should have passed it, right? Now, if you do that enough time, if you make those mistakes enough time, eventually it's going to become instincts where you're just going to do it and not think about it. So because you have that general knowledge, you can then correct yourself. If you do that over time enough, you're going to start to just build up the instincts that you should have just done it without even thinking. So if you can repeat that process of film, play, small-sided games enough times, then eventually you also want to step into games, right? Because just because you can do it in small-sided games and pick up with your buddies doesn't mean you can apply it into the games. And the biggest thing with intelligence, IQ, is it needs to be applied or it's essentially useless. So now what you're going to do when you actually get into these games is watch your film back after, right? This is your ability to check how you are performing. Am I applying this knowledge, right? I've been learning all these reads. Am I making the right reads in games? So take your film from these real games, whether it's AAU, whether it's school ball, college, whatever, sit down and review it. And if you can review it with the trainer, even better. But you're gonna go back and look at all of these different things. Okay, in this situation, I had a catch and shoot read. Did I make the right read? And then you can zoom out again. Okay, off that possession, I drove it. Did I get into the right sequence? Because this happened, did I make the right pass? How was my attitude? How was dealing with the other team, right? You can review all of these different things. Now, like I said in the beginning, watching film is not enough. Watching this YouTube video is not enough to just solely build your IQ. You need to put in the work. It needs to be constant, and you need to be constantly self-evaluating, fixing, and getting better, and just constantly revolving that process, essentially until you guys are done your basketball career. So I hope this helped you guys. If it did, please drop a comment, drop the like. We really appreciate it. It helps us know what videos you guys enjoy and what you guys want to see more of. So again, appreciate it. Peace.